Hello everyone. Today is Technical Tuesday, and today's video is going to be on, make this, show this is zoomed out enough here. Today's video is going to be on Gel X systems. Now the one I'm using today is from Unigella, and this one actually came with this particular gel nail glue. And these are soft gel tips. Now they do sell your basic press-ons as well. And these ones come pre-etched, so you do not have to etch them. Now if you get ones that don't have this textured surface, that aren't pre-etched, you will need to use a file or an e-file. A hand file or an e-file, which, give me just 1 second, I will show you the e-file, like this, to etch the inside of it. I'm going to be using an e-file today, but this can be done with a hand file. There is other systems that do not come pre-etched. Let's see if I can find one. Like this one here from Appraise. Appraise does not come pre-etched. It looks like a regular, it looks like a regular press-on nail, but it is actual soft gel. It just is not pre-etched, and I'm not as fond of Appraise because I don't have as much natural C-curve as what theirs are, so in order to apply it, it has a very big apex for me because of how flat my natural nails are, especially on the pinky. See how big that is, and that's the one that fits my pinky the best, and that is a huge bump. I don't particularly care for the Appraise ones as much. So if you have a big natural curved nail, Appraise may be the brand you want, but I do not. So if you look, this one's not as big of a curve. It still has the proper gap, but it's not as big of a curve. I naturally have very flat nail beds, and that's why I have no natural strength, is they're just so flat. And that size is too big. So first we're going to start off with our sizing. We want to size out our tips. So the size 0 was too big. Now the size 1 fits me perfectly. And I'm going to zoom in to try to show you. It goes, oh, I scooted over too far on that side, but it covers that side wall and this one. See how it goes with the nail growth? And it has a little bit of a gap. It's kind of hard to show it, but it does have a little bit of gap for the product to go in. Okay, so we're going to try it on the other side. And you want it to sit nicely. You don't want it to be tight, where you have to press hard. You want it to just lay flat into that spot without any problems. So I need 2 size 1s. This is a size 5, and I think that's the one that I generally use for my middle. No, size 5 looks like it's the one I use for the, yeah, and the size 5. But the index, see, size 5 works for, generally my index and my ring finger take the same size. Not always. My ring finger's actually a smidgen bigger than my index, so sometimes I actually need a bigger size for my ring finger than I do my index. Which is really weird, I know, but it is what it is. Let's see, size 4 is perfect for my middle finger. Let's see, let's check the other hand. Now, I will only do one hand on camera. There's no need to do both. But I am going to go ahead and size up both hands just to make sure that I have everything out and prepped. And now onto the pinkies. Let's try the size 6. Perfect. Now I actually have one pinky that sometimes has a different size tip than the others because it's a little bit bigger than the other. So, okay, I got all of them sized up. Now, you will also need a lamp, and if I'm going to recommend anything, and these are really inexpensive, I would recommend a lamp like this because you can put the tip on, press the button, and while holding the tip on like this, slide it in and cure it because it's from the side and it's got a very open design. Let me zoom this back out so it's easier to see what I'm doing. Is you would apply the gel, the tip on, and slide in just like that to cure. And it does automatically turn off when the amount of time that you need is up. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. I've got all my tips sized up. Now they're pre-etched, so I don't have to worry about that. So now we're going to go in and we're going to start our prep. Your prep will determine how long your gel-X system will last. So you want to make sure that your cuticle, which is the dry skin that comes off of your eponychium, which is the skin area here, when your nail bed grows out. Now, I don't have a whole lot of that because I'm constantly doing stuff with my nails, but I do have some, and I do need to push it back. Now, if you're not experienced with using metal tools, please use an orange wood stick, and they're pretty inexpensive, because if you use a metal tool and you're not experienced with pushing your cuticles back, you could damage your natural nail and you could damage your eponychium. Just gently push your cuticles back, and you don't necessarily need to nip the extra skin at the top. Some people get a lot of extra skin, and you can use cuticle nippers to nip the edges off. Please be careful not to cut your actual living skin. I don't have enough right now because I've done it recently to even do that. And of course, if you have an e-file, you can use a very soft bit designed to like grind off the dead skin. But you want to push your cuticles back, your eponychium area, and get rid of all that dead skin after pushing it back. And then you want to file the surface of your nail with a 120 or 180 grit file. Now this is I washed it, but This is one I only use on me. This side's 180, and I could use this, but I'm going to go ahead and use my E-file, which has a 120 grit band on it. Now, if you use something higher grit than 180, it's going to be too soft and it'll just buff your nail to a shine and you won't have proper adhesion. Do not use anything rougher than 120 because it'll tear up your natural nail. So you really want to have either 120 or 180. Ideally, 120 would be the proper roughness to rough up your nail, but 180 will work too. But you just need it to not be a smooth surface. So what you want to do is rough up your nail, and don't go at it constantly. Don't just very gently go across your nail once. The goal here is just to take the shine off. You're not trying to file your nail to oblivion. So you just want to very gently, just a once over, make sure you hit all the areas, go in and rough up your nail. And then I'll show you the next step, and that's another product you will need for maximum adhesion. Now, what you're seeing flaking up is actually leftover product from the last time I had done my nails. I had polygel on. So you might see a little bit of my old product flake up. And just very gently, I'm barely touching the nail. I'm not even really putting any pressure. Go around the nail and buff up the surface. Want the natural shine gone. You don't want it to be real smooth, because if it's smooth and shiny, it's not going to stick. This is you priming the nail for the extensions. Okay, then you want to take off the dust. You do not want dust that will interfere with your adhesion. Okay, so now we want to go in with a dehydrator and a primer. And this dehydrator and primer set you can get on Amazon. It's by Gelish, and it's a pretty good one. The best primer I have ever used, I don't get it anymore because of its price, but man, does it work. And it is Protein Bond by Young Nails, and it is amazing, that stuff. But it's like $15 for a bottle like the size of this glue. It's tiny, and the stuff's amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's worth its price. It's just I couldn't afford to keep buying it because it was so expensive. So the next best thing that I found was this, which is more affordable and a much bigger bottle. Does it work as good as a Protein Bond? No. Does it work well enough? Yes. So after you put your dehydrator on, you want to put your primer. Okay, now that your primer's on, this is when we're actually going to adhere our nails. Now we'd already sized out all of our tips. I think I'm going to start with the pinky. And now we want to go in with our gel nail glue. Now there are many different gel nail glues that you can get and use, and you can even use regular hard gel or polygel to adhere these. So you could use polygel, you could use hard gel, you could use solid nail glue, which this is actually very similar to solid nail glue. And this stuff is amazing. It's almost like a putty. And this stuff is like a more liquidy version of this. And of course there is, let's see if I can find it. I still have it, which I should. I may have ran out of it. Okay, so there's also one that comes in a bottle. Similar to this. And it's just a liquid nail glue that, and it's the same brand. It's Beetles. And of course there's nail gel glue that's in bottles like this as well that you can use. And of course you can use Builder in a bottle like that as well. That is also options in which you could use to adhere your Gel-X system to your nails. And for those of you who use Maniology gel tips, from what I understand, you can use them the same as this, that they are actual gel cover tips and not your basic ABS press-ons. So I'm going to use the gel glue that came with this system, which is the Unigela's nail glue. And you want to put a thin layer in the well of it. To fill in the area that your nail doesn't touch and to adhere. We're going to get the lamp, and now that we have our gel in there, we're going to start at the cuticle / eponychium, and we're going to gently press it down until it covers the entire nail. We're going to turn on our lamp, make sure there's no air bubbles. So you want to hold it down like that so there's no air bubbles. And then put it under the lamp until the lamp goes off. And then you will have a nice extension. So it's a lot of trial and error. Try not to put too much gel glue because it can ooze out of the edge, and you don't want to start developing an allergy. So this is why I use an e-file as well, because sometimes I get too much out the bottom, so I have to file out the extra. Kind of like when you're using a polygel kit or a little extra comes out the top. It happens. So I like using the e-file for that purpose. And so because this nail had damage before, I had a little excess come out the bottom here, and I had a little bit ooze out the top. But that's an easy enough fix. I can go in with the e-file and file that out. Now, if you're using a hand file, you can't do that. You can't get a hand file up in there. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go in with our next tip. And we're going to put our gel in the well in that etched area. Putting more towards the center than the edges because that's where the bulk of it's going to be. Go ahead and line it up, and you can go in like this and lay it on top of your little mini lamp. And line it up. Press down, make sure there's no air bubbles. Okay, so I did not put enough on. So I'm just going to put a little dab. right here. And then we're going to try again. Up against the cuticle area and press down. And then go up in under the light. Once it gets to a certain point, like it'll be cured enough that you don't even have to hold it down, which doesn't take long, but you do need to keep it under there for the full 60 seconds, so that way it's fully cured. And which cat am I hearing? Hi, Peaches. Is it you? You look like you're being pretty quiet. Was it you or was it Topaz? Is Topaz in here? Ah, Topaz is in here. Are you the one being loud? Yes, my sweet boy. Okay. So I got 2 out of 3 cats in here with me, and it's probably because the kids are at school right now. And they want to be near mommy whenever the kids are in school. And I'm surprised the female is not out here right now bugging as well, because she can get pretty clingy in the morning. Okay, so I didn't even notice the lamp went off. So now on to the next one. This is actually really simple, and if you get just the right amount of gel glue, you won't even really have to do any filing after you've applied them. Let's see here, just a little bit in the well. You don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. You just need enough to not have any air bubbles and to fill in that gap. So we're going to go ahead and squish her down. Did I not put enough? No, I did. It's just being stubborn. I got an air bubble being stubborn in there. Try adding just a smidgen more, because I think that's what the problem is. I did not put quite enough. And you know, if you don't put enough, start little and add 2 if you need to. But if you did not put enough, you know, that's an easy fix. It's a lot easier to add more than it is to take away. And that's what we are currently working on. Okay, get the air bubbles out. There we go. Perfect. And up under the lamp. So, I don't know how everybody else's morning is going, but I have discovered that my 4-year-old is having some attachment issues for the first time, and drop-off has become kind of a bit of a challenge. He's having trouble dealing with mommy leaving now, and he's never really had this problem in the past. He's always been really excited to go to school, and once I get him in the classroom he's fine, but seeing me leave has been kind of a challenge for him, and he's having a hard time with it, and it's kind of a hard time to see him getting upset. And they've started just taking him, one of the assistants taking him to the classroom first thing at drop-off instead of waiting in line like all the other kids, because it's just become too much on him to see mom go. So it's kind of a hard time for us right now. He loves school though. He really does. It's just somehow, somewhere along the line, he suddenly realized, hey, you know, I don't have mom with me, and doesn't like it. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead, we fill in with our gel glue, and automatically I can tell I did not put enough. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some directly on the nail. Now, you may, for those of you who've used gel before, may think that I need a base gel. This stuff does not require a base gel. I have tried doing it with the base gel and it will not stick. It will pop off. I don't know why, but it will not. I get, and it doesn't require one. It even says it in the instructions, you know. And so that may be why it does not like to stick with a base gel. So something about its formula just does not work with that. Okay, here we go. Now that I've got the sufficient amount of gel, I can cure it. And I don't know if you can see this. That is just because of my natural nails. So if you were wondering about the vertical cracks, it's not from overfiling. Before I ever started even putting extensions or press-ons or anything like that on, my nails always did this. They're just super thin. Now, due to the intake of vitamins I have, they grow really fast, but they are not any stronger, unfortunately. No, they are very thin, and this is actually why I always have either a hard gel or acrylic or polygel or something on them, and not always necessarily an extension. I have grown them long, but they've always had to have some kind of reinforcing layer. And so this is what we have so far. Pinky was the worst one. That one actually needs some filing. But we're going to go ahead and do the thumb, and then we'll get some close-ups so you can see how easy and how quick this stuff is. And we'll go ahead and fill in the well of the final tip for this hand and apply it. So there are many different brands, and the quality depends on the materials in which it's used. ABS plastic ones, you can do this with ABS plastic full cover tips. In fact, this brand does sell them, but, and I will show you after we're done adhering this nail, but the durability of them is not as strong. They, think of it being a basic press-on you buy from the store, because that's pretty much what it is you are getting your basic store press-on and just adhering it with gel. And you can do this, but you will need to be more careful with them. They are not meant to be used in that manner, and because of that, they will break easier. They will also bend easier and not in a pleasant way. Like it won't flex back into its proper shape, and it just won't have the durability after that. It'll just keep bending and bending until finally it breaks. Or in the case of Unagella's ABS plastic ones, they're more of a harder plastic instead of a softer one, so it just literally snaps. It doesn't actually bend, it snaps. I had that happen with a thumbnail. Right after I'd applied them, and then I went to put away my portable manicure desk, and it just snapped the whole corner off. It snapped this whole area completely off. So, for stuff that's meant to be done with nail glue instead of nail gel glue, stuff that's meant to be done with this or this, yes, you can use gel glue with them. You can buff them out and put it on, and some of the Gel-X systems online are that particular kind of material. They're not as durable, just keep in mind. But this is what I was talking about. These are from Unigella as well, but these are literally meant to be press-ons, not gel glued. Let's open. This is a fresh container, so it's hard for me to open it. Okay, so, and these come in sheets like this, which is awesome. It makes it easier to size what you need. And I do love these. Do not get me wrong. I do love these. These fit my nails really well. They have a good variety of sizes. And if I use these with gel for adhesion, I will do a couple layers of dip powder over top to make them more durable, which that is something you can do. It's cheaper if you're then buying actual soft gel tips if you already have dip powder or builder in a bottle, something like that. But you know, you generally want to buy the soft gel if you're going to do it because it has better longevity and more durability and generality. But I'm not saying you can't do it with this. You can. Just error of caution on it. And when you are buying Gel-X systems like the ones from that come with a little lamp like this, like the one I was using like this, not all of them come with actual soft gel tips. I think it's Beetles is one of the ones I bought that had ABS tips and not soft gel, which is fine. It can be done. Just keep in mind your durability probably won't be the same, especially if you try to shorten the length of them. Generally the ones that are designed to do that are ABS, don't shorten nicely. They're durable as long as you keep them the length and shape in which you bought them. So they would have to stay exactly the same way that they came out of the box onto your nail to have that kind of durability, because that's how they were designed. So just something to keep in mind. Now I'm going to zoom in and show you the couple of errors that I did make, but I did get a little bit of bleed out on that, but aside from that it went pretty well. But nice clean extensions, very little squeeze out. Now this one I'm gonna have to file underneath and it has a little bit on there, but if you put the right amount of gel, it's nice and quick and easy. I would file these tips where it came off of the printer, where it's not, you just file those little nubs off, just gently with a hand file to smooth it out, like so. And you've got a nice set of extensions. There we go. That's literally all it takes. You just go in and you prep your nail and just put in a little bit of glue, a little gel glue, and cure it. If the nail tip is not pre-prepped, you'll just have to go in with an E-file and etch out that well, and that's all it takes. The Gel-X systems are really popular right now for this reason, because it's very easy to get nice extensions that last, depending on, it's person to person. How well you prep will determine how long it lasts, but generally you're looking at 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes longer. Some people can get much longer out of that. Depends on how fast your nail grows, depends on how well you prep, how hard on your nails are you. Your body chemistry can affect it too. If you have problems with stuff adhering in generality, like your body chemistry can affect that. So just things to keep in mind. But if you're wanting to try a Gel-X system to get longer nails, because like me, you have trouble growing them, or I guess you have trouble keeping them from breaking. I don't have trouble growing my nails. I just have trouble keeping them long because they are so thin that they break very easily. In fact, this one, the reason why there was so much oozage is because I left my reinforcements off for 2 days, and that's all it took, and I had accidentally, while putting groceries away, ripped the corner of that nail into the actual nail bed itself. Had it bleeding, and I immediately said, you know what, now it's time to put on extensions. It's time to put on the reinforcement layers, get the polygel out. It's time to protect them. And I stripped off my extensions last night and for this video, and I felt uncomfortable last night and all morning without them because I was so afraid I was going to cause the tears to get worse in this thumb, because that one's still there from that time, because that was also from that 2 days that I didn't have any protective layer. I was afraid I was going to tear it up on my son's car seat, or rip another one. So it's actually the reason I started wearing stuff like this, is to keep that from happening, because I was tired of my fingers hurting all the time from very papery thin nails that get damaged so easily. So I just started wearing hardening products and going rather thick on them to protect my nails. So if you're thinking about trying these, this is a good brand. It's a very easy brand to do. Trying to think about how much it would probably cost. I did get it on Amazon, and I'm not sure. I bought it months ago, so I'm not sure how much it costs now. And stuff on Amazon changes price all the time. So I'd say, I think I spent like $14, and it came with the glue. It came with it. So I hope this was helpful, and I'm not sure I really need to show the filing around the cuticle area. I probably should now that I think about it. Go in with a different bit. If you have an e-file, you can go ahead, and you probably already know about it. Have cuticle bits, or I have a hard time getting this one out. I really need another bit holder instead of an old dual form case. And whatever you like to go around your cuticle area with. And clean up the gel around the cuticles. If need be, make sure you pull your skin back so you do not tear up your skin if your skin is up in the way. You can also use the file to smooth out the edges in which meet your natural nail, to make it more flush and last longer. Now, if you're trying this particular brand, go ahead and file the top too before you polish. Give it a good buff, because the roses you saw on it, they do stick up. Okay. Clear off the dust. And that's all it took. Now I no longer have gel oozed out the sides, and aside from buffing the top, that's all that I have to do. And I have a full set. I know this one's kind of a rambly video, and I apologize. I am feeling a little better. I still have a sinus infection, but I'm kind of loopy from all the medication to make it so where I don't feel so bad and clear up as much of this infection as I can without having to go in and get antibiotics, because it costs me about $100 for a doctor's visit to just get a prescription, unfortunately. So it's expensive. And then I have to pay for the prescription. So I'm trying to let my body fight it off. If it can't, then oh well, I'll just have to suck it up and spend the money. But I try not to, because I'd rather spend it on my children and allow them to have nice experiences around this time of year and things like that. So I'd rather not have to spend $100 just to get antibiotics. But that is all. Then hopefully the next time I see you will be on the video for the mani, which I'm going to be doing another Halloween mani. And I think I will go back to fall-based manis once November starts, because it's October and it's Halloween and there's so many fun Halloween manis we could do. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a nice day. Bye.